Me and Kitty have almost every hero in Awaken Chaos Hero, but there is one hero, well, I'm going to say two, okay? But there's one hero in particular that I absolutely have got to get my hands on. What do you think that hero is? Leave a comment, no cheating. Leave the comment now saying what you think it is. Ready? Okay, here we go. That hero is going to be Corrupted Ogreoth. If you've been watching a while, you know this is my #1 most wanted hero. And I wanted to talk about why this hero is so high on my list. And it really comes down to a few things, but more than anything, I want you to look at the base stats. Okay, so he's B in pretty much everything, A in defense, S in health. So we got tanky stats. Look at the passive here. At the start of the round, deals true damage equal to 5% of this character's max health to all enemies. Obviously, it goes to 10% if this character is below 50% while you haven't ascended. Don't need the ascension at all, okay? The reason we like him is because this damage happens at the start of the round and it does true damage, and we're going to talk about that more in a moment. The basic attack here does damage based upon his max HP, which obviously means he's going to hit a lot of damage on the basic because his max HP is S tier, so we're going to be building him for health. And then we look here, deal 100% damage to an enemy, recover 30% of that damage's health, and grants max health up for 2 turns. You can see it's really some max health synergy, so you can understand where this is going to come from. Now, the ultimate ability removes all of the positive effects from the enemy, deals 100% damage, and silences for 2 turns. So that person is out of the game for 2 turns, basically. Damage scales with this character's max HP, so once more, you have an ability that's going to do more damage as he becomes tankier. Now, we want him to be tanky. Look at this. At the start of the round, deals true damage equal to 5% of this character's max HP, meaning Dark Ogre, the Corrupt Ogreoth's HP. So what we want to do is get him as much health as possible so that at the start of each round, he's obviously triggering as much damage as possible. But on top of it, we want him to have a particular set, okay? We want him to have the stun set. And why would we want to maybe have a stun set? Well, it's similar to somebody like Imogen, okay? Where what it does is this person can hit multiple people. So I put a stun set on Imogen, which the stun set is just called the Rebel set, I believe is what it's called here. Here it is. I put these ones on, and why do I put these ones on? Because attacks have a 20% chance to stun the enemy for 1 turn, and attacks basically count as damage applied. So this passive from the Corrupt Ogreoth happens before anyone else can act at all, and then it's automatically going to give you that 20% chance per person to apply that stun, because it happens at the start of the round. So starting the game, no matter what speed you are, you have a chance to stun somebody right out of the gate. Now I could talk about the pairing, and then we can pair it with Nicholas, and then have like a fast Windstrex or fast Virgil or something, and have Imogen with Sir Nicholas, so that way you got the Imogen going in and attacking with another stun set while Sir Nicholas goes first, and you could do all these crazy combinations. But today in this video, I just want to talk about Corrupt Ogreoth and why I think he's so nuts. On top of it, he's particularly good because people will use him as well as a tanky hero in like the towers. So you can use him in tower and PvE content. I think it's going to be quite good. That stun helps a ton in PvE content. Some of the towers stop stuns from happening, but even if we don't use the stun, it's a good hero to have regardless, because if they don't have a way of sustaining, but you have like a revival set on Corrupt Ogreoth, for instance, every time that he takes a turn, he'll revive, but he's also applying this damage at the start of every round. You can slowly drain somebody out, and being able to silence people and remove positive effects is really good against tanky people. And since this is such a tanky meta, no matter if we're going PvE, PvP, what have you, the tanky meta gets countered by somebody who does damage based upon max HP, right? So if he's doing damage based upon his max HP, and most of our gear is tanky gear anyway, because it's a tanky meta, we basically can build this person as doing more damage with the gear we already have. So it really benefits in multiple ways in the current meta, not just stunning, not just removing the positive effects, because there's lots of Mathasias with shields. We got a lot of Brand with the debuffs up, okay? It's not just removing all of that. It's also you remove it on any target you want, and you can silence it. So if it's somebody like Brand, for instance, and he hasn't done his moves yet, you can silence him, etc. This guy is probably, in my opinion, the hero that I'm the most excited to pull. But the problem is he's a light dark, and getting your hands on the light darks are more and less impossible. You have to get lucky in order to get them, which kind of boils this down to the point, should all of these light dark heroes be completely disgusting OP? I feel like the Corrupt Ogreoth one is, but as we get into some of the other heroes, I don't feel like they all are as good, which is why I like where the recent buffs have gone in the recent patch, where they increased, for instance, Eve Light Dawn. They made her a little bit stronger, and some of the more recent patches worked on Imogen as well. As an honorable mention, I want to mention Dark and Nicholas. If you look at the passive here, look. Enters Dark Avatar state under 50% health, enhancing all the basic and ultimate abilities, okay? You get a shield for 1 turn, and then enters it under 50%, which can be triggered every 2 rounds if you haven't ascended, which, let's be honest, who's going to ascend to Light Dark? But look at the ultimate here. On standard, damage scales with health lost by this character, and it does 150% damage when you're in the ultimate Dark Avatar mode, right? So you're going to do more damage as you lose health, and then it does 150% damage to all enemies, or 150% damage to 2 enemies on the ultimate. So you can see it just swaps back and forth like that. Now, if you look at the passive on him, upon taking death, this is why I like him, grants 4 stacks of death immunity. 1 stack is removed for every subsequent attack taken, can be triggered once per 6 rounds. So this is something that, even though it's once per 6 rounds, can be triggered multiple times, and you get 4 stacks of it, and the stacks don't get removed based upon turns, so it's not like 4 stacks for 2 turns or anything. It's just 4 stacks, so you know that this person has time to use his additional abilities when he's lower HP, because you can see the basic attack here, damage scales with the amount of health they lost. When you swap it, it does damage to 2 enemies, damage scale with the amount of health they lost. So obviously the way you want to play him is he gets lower HP, then he nukes people based upon the damage that he has lost with the Dark Avatar version of it. Feels to me like the Dark heroes aren't as good as the light ones, unless we're talking about Corrupt Ogreath, because, I mean, we got Eve First Dawn, we got Yuri on that's so good. Meanwhile, we have people like Imogen. I mean, Bran the Brilliant seems to be another good one that got a recent buff also. Unfortunately, it's really hard to get these light dark heroes. I kind of wish that in the game, maybe there was like some kind of sacred shard or something that would give us an additional chance to get a light dark hero, you know, like 10% chance to get a light dark legendary or something. You could either buy those or earn those over time in like arena or by going through the tower or something, because getting your hands on these light dark heroes is really, really difficult. And I've stopped spending money now, so it's going to be even harder. But even getting the hands on some of the epic heroes, like if we look here, that I'm waiting on to get some more of the ascensions before I really work on them. Like, for instance, look at Marion Shadowblood here. You can see I've only got 3 ascensions on there. If I go into ascension, check it out, got none. So I still need 3 more. I've only acquired 4 of her, which average I'm getting about 1 of her every $1,000 then, to give you an idea. So the drop rate of these are pretty low, but because of that, the Corrupt Ogreath is the guy that I have not got yet that I really want. But I got to know what the number 1 for you guys is. Let me know your number 1 for light dark legendary, what you want more than anything else, as well as your other options that are not light dark legendaries that you really want as well. For me, the number 1 is pretty much always going to be Corrupt Ogreath, but I've really been wanting the Sir Dark Nicholas as well recently because I don't have him. I know Crazed Urzag is probably one that a lot of people are going to mention. Kyra Mobile uses him to some pretty good effects, and his changes have been great also, so he could be an honorable mention in there too. I think he also works decent with a stun set too, but I really think Corrupt Ogreath with that Rebel set on is pretty much going to be just perfect in arena. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe and like if you want to see more Awaken Chaos content, and I'll see you on the next video.